Okay, we are recording. Do you want to kick it off, Tova?
Yeah, sure. So Annie and I wanted to get the calls going again. It's been a while, and we're gonna maybe try a different format. Although, of course, you are all here, so maybe we'll just see how it goes today. But what had been happening in the past is that there's never really a good time to have a call, right? Although apparently at 11 o'clock on Thursday is a pretty good time, but normally we can never really figure out, a good time to have a call. And so what would happen is it would be the end of the night and Annie and I would want to do a call, but we really don't want to do calls. We both, as most people on this call actually have, we have these little babies. They can wake us up and we're totally done by like 9 o'clock at night. So what we've decided to do is to have the call sometime during the week. We will probably just pick a time that's convenient for both of us and let everybody know. But if we do find a time and if people are consistently, hopping on, then we can always lock that in. But we're just going to, find a time that works for Annie and I and let everyone know. So if you have questions and you can't hop on the call, you can just let us know your questions so we make sure that we answer them. So that there's not we don't want there to be a ton of pressure for you to feel like you have to be on the call. And if you're not on the call, you've suddenly missed everything. We really want to use the call as a time to talk about sort of what's working, what our plans are, what's not working. And then if there seems to be a theme, because, as we posted this event, then people did actually start commenting on the event, which is great. Like that's a great place to throw your questions if you have them. But if we see a theme emerge, then we'll talk about that. But we kind of want to do just like sort of a weekly gut check of what we're doing, like where we are with the 4 vital behaviors, what's working, what's not working, what PD we're reading, what workout we're doing, sort of just to make sure that we're all kind of a weekly reminder of what we're doing. And Annie and I sort of envision there are going to be weeks that at some point it's just going to be her and I talking to each other. But since we do that anyway, we figured why not have, a call and that everybody can hop in and ask questions. So since we do have a few people on though, I think we should all go around and say like what we're doing when it comes to our personal development and our workouts, maybe start there and say, if we're listening to anything really good, reading anything really good, if we're in a rut, if we're looking for something, if you have a favorite podcast you just listened to. And then also like what workouts you're doing, what week you are, what's your plan, and how you've been sharing that. Does that sound good, Annie?
Sounds good to me, yeah.
All right. You want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll kick it off. Yeah. So, workout wise, obviously, I am exactly 3 weeks after having the baby. So, not an official workout going on right now. But I have been thinking about starting up just doing core to force active recovery because I think that's something that I could handle right now. The midwife said I can definitely like walk and all of that, but with all of the ice and snow on the road right now, that's not going to happen. So I think that I'm going to start that up. I've been doing like ab rehab kind of exercises to try to strengthen my core. So that's been going really well, but I am definitely itching to get back into like regular like real workouts because like 10 minutes of like little like fake ab stuff is not not fun anymore. So personal development wise, this is an area I'm usually really consistent, partially because I do it in the car and I have not been in the car a lot, so it's not been getting done as much as I would like, but I have been listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is a great book. It has lots of cursing, which I think is funny, but some people might not like it. But it definitely is a good just kind of like reminder of where your priorities should be, who in your life, like who you should care about what they think and who you really shouldn't give a crap what what other people think about you. and just not letting that, what people think about you hold you back so much. So I've really been enjoying that. I have a ton of national wake-up calls to catch up on too. So that is on my list because I've realized I can't really listen to that other book around, especially my 4-year-old. And so I need to do some of the wake-up calls around when she's around. So yeah, that's been, been my personal development and workouts. I am just trying to focus really on getting back into the swing of things and getting consistent. I've been trying to focus on our challenge group and getting in there daily and commenting on everybody's stuff, checking in on everybody and posting in there, trying to get my social media posts back up, although on the crazy days I've not been so successful on that, and just really being there for you guys to support you, getting into the team page again. So that's been my focus. I need to step up the invites as well, but that's going to be coming in the next week or two. I'm going to get back into the swing of things with that. So that has been basically where I have been this last couple of weeks. So let's see, should we just go around in a circle on my screen? So Leah, you are next up. If you can.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted to have like kind of that extra during the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is good because I think this is what keeps me kind of in line, or kind of like Tova said with the gut check, and keeps me on track. And especially on a Thursday when it's starting the week, I think it's like the work week. I think it's good too.
Yeah.
I've been doing T25. That I kind of started that one back once I got in the swing of things, and I'm only getting about 3 days a week right now. Really consistent. I'm doing 3 days a week, but then I'm also just working my abs and just trying to get everything back, into the swing of things with that. Terrible with my personal development. I don't do it every day like I should. I don't know if you ladies have a system that I know you said that you listen to it. I'm not good with the listening. I like to smell the book and feel the book and be able to highlight and everything in it, but I don't know if there's like another system that you've found in the past, like being able to get it in daily. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I was gonna say,
I'm in the midst of trying to get through the magic of thinking big. And I've been trying to do that since the beginning of January. So, and that was my goal, was to finish this book, and I have yet to do it. But that's kind of it. I mean, I'm trying to get into the swing back into the invites for coaching. I've been doing good with adding adding contacts and adding people that way, but I really want to start to focus on getting more coaches and adding to the downline. So
nice.
One thing I was going to say, Lee, about personal development ideas. So I have a book too that I like to read, because a lot of times, I'll listen to a book and then depending on the book, I end up buying it anyway because I want to go back and highlight sections. But what I would say is sounds crazy, but I end up having a few things going on. I'll have a podcast that I really like listening to. I'll have a book I like listening to and a book I like reading. So maybe the book you like listening to isn't for you, but there's a ton of different podcasts that could be 10, 15 minutes.
I've been doing podcasts on a daily basis. So it's just the whole thing of having that mentality of, oh my God, I have to finish a book. And
don't beat yourself up. If you're doing a few minutes, 10, 20, 30 minutes of a podcast every day, you're getting personal development in every day. Would you agree, Annie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the most important thing with personal development is that you're actually taking stuff away from it and trying to implement what you're listening to. A lot of the time people just kind of are trying to get through what it is, and they're not actually taking anything away from that. So
Yeah.
If that makes
I
sense.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's hard if you if you don't connect with the book. You know, I'm one of those people, I really don't like not finishing a book, right? So like, I'm going to get through this book if it's the last thing that I do. But I've learned with personal development is sometimes it makes sense to put it down and then pick it up later, because for whatever reason, like the personal development books that I get into, I have trouble putting down. I actually have to slow myself down so that I can be like, no, you need to think about that and come back to it later, like so that you can take it in. So I know if it's connecting with me, then I'm going to read it fast. And if it's not connecting with me, then I'm not. So like if a book is having trouble, I sometimes do set it aside with the intention of I will come back to it after this book, whatever that book is. Like I will not, and it's hard. Like the magic of Thinking Big is like such a popular one. Everyone's like, you have to read this book. It's amazing. And I agree. I love the book. But like, if you don't like the book, you're not, I mean, what's the point of reading it if you're like.
It's one that was suggested to me.
Yeah.
So, so I was like, all right, I guess I gotta, I'll read it. I mean, the one book that I did, or two books, I mean, I did The Compound Effect. That was in like the beginning, like 3 years ago. And that one I couldn't put that one down. Like I read it and then I read it again, found more stuff in it. And then, obviously GoPro, but, now it's just, I don't know if it's why it's harder now for me. So I'm hoping to just get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could always.
I was going to say very much like Tova, like I'll, if I'm not into a book or I find myself like tuning out while I'm reading or listening, then I'll stop that and move on to something different. I've also been in the middle of a book that I am loving and, like can't put it down. And then something happens and I'm like, okay, this is not what I need right now, personal development wise. Like back in August, I had a friend who passed away from cancer, and I had been, I forget what even I was reading, but I was reading something. And when that, like, we all knew that was going to happen, but when she actually did pass away, all of a sudden I was like, okay, I cannot read this book that I've been reading. It was way too like, related to the business and all of that. And I was like, okay, I need a completely different kind of personal development right now, just to like help me process and like move through what I was going through. So I stopped what I had been reading, moved on to something else, and then came back to what it was later on, a couple months later. So.
And if you are like dead set on, I have to finish this book, I'm sure there's a nugget in here that I can like get out of. There's two things. One, Annie knows, I think it was Girl Boss. So the first half of it, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Looks great. And then the second half, I was like, oh my God. Yes, we know you don't have credit card debt. You don't have credit card debt because your credit sucks. Like you don't, like, we get it. We get you. We're down with you. Like you repeat yourself. Oh, she drove me. Like by the end, I was like, I can't listen to you anymore. And I skipped to the last chapter. And the last chapter was fantastic. Totally worth it. But like, I do sometimes feel like, especially the memoir type personal developments, you're just like, oh my God, I can only listen to you so much longer. You're driving me crazy. That's one sort of thing. Sometimes it's okay to skip to the end of the chapter the last chapter, because a lot of times they will then reflect on the rest of the book. So if they do mention something that you're like, oh, that would be really great, you can always go to that chapter. Like nothing says that you have to like, But the other thing is, and this is something I'm working on myself, is figuring out, is it a task? Like working out for me is not a task that I need to reward myself for. It's not a task that I need to like enforce. It is habit. I work out every day. It's there. But then there are tasks that I need to set, like I need to really find the discipline and be like, no, you have to do this. And then there's other tasks that I need to sort of like reward myself with. So if there's a book that I really want to get through, but I'm struggling, but I'm like, no, I'm getting a lot from it, I'm just having trouble focusing on this, I might reward myself like, okay, if you go to bed early enough to read 10 pages of this book, then you get the fiction book that you want to read. Or if you listen to this book for an hour, you get your crime podcast, like, something like that. So like, if it's something that,
Yeah.
some things you can force by discipline, but other things, maybe you just need to give yourself a reward, treat for like reaching that goal until it becomes, no matter what I think of a book, I always read at least 10 pages. Like,
Yeah.
That's a good
I mean,
idea.
as opposed to just being like, I have to read this. So who is next in your line, Annie?
I think that's Yvette. Can you hear?
I think we lost Pierce.
Oh yeah, we did lose Pierce.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. And yourselves?
Good.
Good.
Sorry, you guys. I was just in the middle of cleaning a diaper there, so it took me a second to get back on.
Nice.
I hear you there.
I remember the first few months. It was just like diapers, feeding.
Yeah, it's like nonstop.
Yes. No. I haven't spoken with anyone except Annie, but I actually started my very first challenge group this week.
Yay.
Yeah. And I did do the free trial first with my family. So workout wise, I'm still finishing up Insanity Max 30, which we started back in February with the Love Yourself Challenge. And then with them, I'm doing the 21-day 6 Extreme, just so to give them a breeze through the workouts and everything. And that way it fit within the 30 days for them. So I'm doing both right now. So I'm in day 4 of Insanity, which is killing me. And then a 21-day 6 Extreme, so which is helping me out stay level. So definitely feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially specifically on my back. But the way I see it, I'll be ready for summer with a very toned back. So I'm looking forward to swimsuit shopping for once.
Nice. That's
There
awesome.
you go.
Yeah. So in regards to personal development, I haven't been doing as well with my book. I'm reading The Compound Effect. I actually heard you guys speak about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I also checked out the Attraction Factor. So those are the two, but I haven't been so great at it. I've been mainly focusing on setting up my challenge group. We just started Monday, so we've talked about Shakeology, nutrition, how I'm setting it up with them, and just keeping them motivated, because a lot of my family actually, we're not big workout people. So it's just keeping that uphill battle of keeping them, motivated to keep going, because it just hurts every single day until you get that habit going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great though. I think you're doing fantastic with everything so far. So
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. And any tips or anything that you guys put up, I'd be more than happy to listen. That's why I'm very excited to listen to this one, because my particular question, I know we'll get to it, would be closing, because in 2 weeks I'll be getting to that point where I'll be like, all right, you guys, we've done this. So that's the steep jumping off point that I can't seem to get to. So if you could talk a little bit about that, I'll be very happy.
Definitely. Yeah. Like how to move them to the next point.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's see. Well, I'll do mine really quickly, what I'm doing, and then we will talk about some more stuff. But I am doing 22-minute hardcore right now. I'm in the 3rd week. I was doing Shailene Extreme and like a hybrid with Turbo Fire, which I absolutely loved, except for the fact that it was just too long. But it's ironic that I say that, because 22 minutes hardcore this whole week, I've been doing like an extra workout every day. So apparently I've gotten used to working out for like 50 minutes. I just don't want to have to work out for 50 minutes, I guess, is what's happening. So like today, I haven't done 22-minute yet. I'm obviously workout gear, so I'll do it as soon as the call's over. But I already did like MMA shred, and yesterday I did 22-minute hardcore and T25, and the day before I did 22-minute hardcore and the bar workout, which is I love. It's from the 20s. It's I like the 20s workout show or whatever on
God, yeah.
Beachbody On Demand.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I am doing a workout. I'm not doing a great job sharing it because I'm talking, usually when I post about workouts right now, I'm posting more about like running, because I'm doing a running streak for Lent where I'm running a mile each day. So I'm not sharing as much as I'd like. Personal development wise, I am listening to the book The Outliers by Malcolm something.
Well, yeah, that's a
yes,
fantastic book. I love that book.
Yeah, I'm totally enjoying it. And you'll find with me a lot of times my personal development that I listen to is like I guess what you'd call like non-traditional personal development, like memoirs and things like that. So I'm listening to that, and then I'm reading Start With Why. And I've been hopping around with my podcasts. I haven't listened to a ton of Shailene recently. I'm doing some courses. So like normally I listen to like Amy Porterfield, or there is another coach, Hillary Rubin, who actually, she's like a coach for coaches, not related to Beachbody at all. She does all sorts of stuff, but she actually had a podcast that I would like to actually have a whole call on this one podcast. But I've been listening to that less because I've been trying to get through some courses, and I don't want to like jumble my brain basically with too much information about just stuff. So I've been trying to listen to Outliers and read my Start With Why book in the mornings or at night and call it a day. So some tips. I know that like we are halfway through the month, exactly halfway through the month. The one tip that I alluded to doesn't actually help with closing, but it was Annie's idea, and I'm totally loving it. Which doesn't make any sense because I have Teamzy, like I have different ways to sort of stay track of my contacts. But what I'm doing every single day to make sure that I'm actually reaching out to people on Facebook every single day is, and this is sort of apart from invitations, this is sort of just making sure I have contact with them, is I'm sending them a note on their birthday. So I know that doesn't sound like amazing, but I've already had 2 people ask me about the shakes just from me going, happy birthday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. How are you? 2 people have reached out to me about like, hey, I'm good. And then they're like, we have a conversation, and then they ask about shakes. So this is sort of my way. Like Annie said, theoretically, anyone who has a birthday, if you do this every single day, you will work through your whole Facebook list within the year. And you will have talked to every single person for anyone that has their birthday listed. So that's sort of my tip, if it's just like kind of just to touch somebody, because I feel like half my list are people that I'd be like, I'm never going to talk to them about this. There's no way that this would come up. And then some of those people, like a year later, they're like, I'm doing a new workout. And you're like, oh man. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, if you send a message to somebody, they're going to hop on your page and check it out and learn all about you and what you do. So that's my little tip, if just to kind of keep it going, to keep kind of, sure, you have people that you're thinking of specifically, but this is just so you're having contact with eventually every single person that you're associated with. Yeah. So once again, that doesn't really help your issue, Yvette, but it's something easy to do every day.
No, yeah. I really like that idea, especially with my large family. I can talk to everybody specifically at least once a day.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and my one little add-on to that, so I used to like post on people's walls, but as you'll see, like people will sometimes get like 200 or 300 birthday messages posted on their wall. So what I had changed over to doing was actually, like what Tova said, actually sending them a private message, because that, most of the time they see that, whereas they might not see your happy birthday on the wall. And it's just something a little different. I think most people don't actually send a private message for that. So, Yeah, anyway, just to add on to that. In terms of closing, I'm trying to think of what I do or how I move people to the next level. And really, I think that what I do a lot of the time is just kind of like, you have them in a group right now, and it's a free group. So as that gets close to ending, I would just send them a message, like each individually, and say, like, you know, something about their results, like, oh, you know, I've been so proud of you, like you did your workout every single day in the group, like that is amazing. And then just ask, like, you know, are you ready to, you know, to move on to the next level? Like, are you ready to do more of a full workout program or something like that? Whatever group it is that you have going next, and just say, I have a group starting in a week or 2 weeks, whatever the date is, would you like to join us? Now, some people, what I run into a lot is that some people won't answer. You're definitely going to get some people saying no, that they don't want to do it or not right now, and that's fine. And those people I keep lists of people who said no and people who said not right now. And the not right now people, I'll come back around and probably like in 60 days or so, I'll touch base and invite them to another group again. The people who said no, usually within like 6 months, I'll invite them. I'll re-invite them to something else. But, you know, if you have somebody that you can tell they're just kind of on the fence about it, or they're giving you a lot of objections, you can, you know, I would just start asking more questions and see if you can kind of pin down what it is that's holding them back from saying yes. You know, is it a money concern? Is it that, you know, their husband wants them to go to the gym with him? Is it that, you know, they are afraid that they're not going to be successful doing it, or are afraid that it's going to be too hard? So, you know, if you can tell somebody is really on the fence, I think it's important to find out what that objection is. And I actually have, I don't know if you want to talk for a minute, Tova. I actually have a thing from Marketing Impact Academy that I went to this summer, specifically about closing, and like what, if somebody says that, like, oh, I have to check with my husband, like what that really, really means, and how to kind of counter that. So.
Yeah, all I was going to say, so I have a post, and I've been looking for it while Annie's been talking, and I can't find it. I'll have to find it, though, that I use with a free group at the end to sort of like say, hey, this is the next group I'm running. Like, let me know if you're interested, blah, 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 blah. And then also a message that I've sent to people in the free group individually. Now, obviously, if it's your family, it's like slightly different. But I might approach it with, why don't we take this whole thing, like, why don't we kick this whole thing up a notch? Like, we've had some fun. This month has been good. We've done the free group. Let's take it up a notch now and start. Well, you still have 2 weeks left. So, like, I would start on this Monday, start talking a little, if you haven't already. And Annie and I can help, like, but start talking a little bit about nutrition, not Shakeology yet, you know, just like how important, like, you know, one day you could add healthy snacks, like a post about healthy snacks onto your, in your group. And another day you could have a post about how important it is to drink water. And so it's not just like becoming a workout group anymore. It's becoming this like health thing. And then you could say something like, let's take it up a notch. Let's, you know, take it to a higher level or something next month, and we'll all commit to a workout program, and then we'll also all commit to drinking shakes once a day, and be like, listen, I'm not asking you to make any other changes to your diet, but let's just all drink the shakes once a day. Like, let's just lock into that and then see how we do a month from now. And be like, you know, we can all have a big celebration for the Derby or Cinco de Mayo or something at the beginning of May, like whatever it is. But, you know, kind of like start making the fitness group also sort of this general health group. And then I do have, like I said, I'll find the message. The message that I try to send at the end of a challenge group. And this is good when you have a challenge group with like tons of people that you're not really contacting with. You'll be like, is there anything you'd like to change? So, you know, so they'll be like, hey, here's our, just want to let you know, or what I'll do is I'll post in the group about the new next challenge group and how it's like a paid challenge group. And then I'll say, I just wanted to make sure you saw my post about the upcoming challenge group that we're doing. And I wanted to ask if you had any feedback on this challenge group. So they can say, yes, I saw the post. Like they don't have to say, I like asking yes or no questions where the answer is like not, do you want to be a coach? But rather, have you ever thought about being a coach? Like I like asking questions that they like have to answer and they don't feel like they're turning you down. So, you know, hey, did you see the post in the challenge group about our next group starting next month kind of thing? And I hope you really enjoyed the challenge group. Thanks so much for participating. Do you have anything you would, recommend for the future? You know, like things like that. So, and then you can kind of do it on multiple fronts. But I would just start, if you haven't already, adding a little bit of like health. And I don't know what you and Annie have been working on, but adding a little bit of food talk, even just like, here's a list of 100 snacks into your workout. Because the other thing is people might say like, I can't do any of those things Yvette's recommending. That's crazy. So then when you introduce like, hey, I have the shake, all you have to do is drink the shake. Keep eating whatever you want to do on the weekends, do whatever you want. Just drink the shake every single day and see what kind of change it makes. They might be more likely to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really all of those ideas, specifically the 100 snacks and things, because I feel like a lot of them, I mean, some of them work. A lot of them have multiple kids, or housework on top of it, and it's just hard. I mean, it's hard for me, and I'm just at home with my son, and it's hard for me to get, make sure that I'm staying on track. And so I really like that post that you were saying, and specifically asking them to like, okay, what could I do different? Because that's kind of how I took the tone of it. Because when I spoke to Annie, when we were originally talking about setting up the group, she was talking about how making it seem like we're doing it together, not like I'm on top of them and telling them what to do. It's like we are doing it together, which we are, because I'm trying to do the workout with them along with my own personal workout. So I really like that specifically, and I'll get to working on that. And I have introduced nutrition just yesterday. I actually went live with them on Facebook, because that's how I set up the group. And I went on my business tools, I believe. Annie and she showed me how I could like see specifically for each program all the different things that they have for it. Mm-hmm. And I saw that day 4 was to speak about nutrition. So I went ahead and went on there. I used the containers and talked to them specifically about it, and just let them know how they could use it, and let them know how I had success before the containers, just the small differences. I did briefly speak about Shakeology, but not a lot about it, because like I said, it's our first week. Maybe I should, like you said, introduce it this Monday, and bring it up. That way, maybe like, okay.
You could. Are you the only one in the group who drinks Shakeology?
Yes, I'm the only one.
So that's fine. That's totally fine. So what you can do also is start asking questions every day if you're not already doing those. By the way, Annie, we need to take notes for ourselves, since we have dropped the ball on our good challenge group doing. Yeah. We used to be so good at it, and now we're not. So we need to take our own notes. But you can ask questions each day, like, what did everybody have for lunch? What did everybody have for breakfast? Like, and so you are like, take a picture of your snack. things like that. And then you can be like, this is what I had for lunch, and show your shake, or this is what I had for breakfast. So it's not like, hey, I'm drinking Shakeology, isn't it awesome? But it just like is more gradual for them a little bit to see. And so, and then you can, you know, slowly start saying things like, I had this for breakfast and I didn't have lunch until 12 and I wasn't hungry, or I had this as, you know, for my lunch and was not hungry for dinner, or what, you know, whatever the case might be. And so when I introduce Shakeology, I try to talk more about me and how it affects me, and less about like what it would do for them, so that they see like, oh, Yvette's drinking this stuff and she really likes it and she feels good after she drinks it. Then they might sort of say, I want to try it. I want to take that after that, versus just like putting up a stat sheet of like, here, this is Shakeology.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, I definitely love that as well. I did go ahead and I spoke to Annie. I don't know if you remember, but I was talking about sending samples. I switched my monthly order from just vanilla to the barista pack, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did have two of my cousins ask me to send them one, and I did send it. I think they were receiving it Friday, tomorrow, which I think would be a great selling point, because I love taking Shakeology more often during Fridays, because right now during Lent, it's like the only thing that's keeping me sane with double workouts and not being able to have meat at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
On a total side note, the Archbishop in Newark made a decree that said like all of the people in his diocese tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day are allowed to eat meat. I just thought that was like,
What?
it was in our local church's like bulletin, so that they don't have to give up their corned beef.
So funny.
Oh wow, that's some dedication right there.
Yes. So apparently being Irish comes before being Catholic.
Oh man, why?
Exactly.
No. That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, side note.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
And I think with the Shakeology stuff too, like just even posting like yummy sounding recipes, so it's not like, ooh, I'm gonna have this like awful thing that I have to drink, but like, you know, show them like what it is that you're blending up, and what, you know, that it's tasty, that it's like dessert, that kind of thing too, so that they see it's not just like a green shake of like, you know, kale and spinach and stuff that they don't want to drink. So you know, just making it sound appetizing, and just that it's easy for them. And that's what I like, what Tova said. I always go back with the Shakeology stuff to why does it work for me? It's super fast to make. It's easy. I can, when the kids are being insane, I can just grab it real quick and I feel satisfied for a few hours. I don't have to worry about, you know, eating all the other fruits and vegetables for the day, like that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I'm looking. So I think maybe what we should do is next week I can go over more of like all this closing stuff I have, because it's like a lot. Like we could do an entire call on it for sure. But the one thing that she emphasized when she was talking about this, so the number one thing to do when you're closing a sale is to tell them what they are going to do, so that they understand the expectations. So you know, you might say something like, if somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm interested, but I don't really know what all is it going to entail. So then you would say like, okay, so you're going to get your workout, you're going to get your Shakeology, you're going to get your containers, you know, we're going to start on this date, like really lay out the plans, and even down to the point of like, when they order, like I'll say like, I'm going to send you a link. You can, like, when you click the link, it's going to take you to the website. It's going to have you set up the account after you add the stuff to your shopping cart. You set up your account. You'll see my name as your coach on there. And yeah, you'll check out, you'll get your order this date, and our group is going to start this date. I'll be in touch in a week, like just lay out very specific details. Like I'll be in touch with you when your order arrives so that I can help you go through everything that's in the box and answer any questions you have, that kind of thing. So like, just again, be very specific about like what is going to happen, what they're going to see, what steps they have to take, and then what you're going to do for them too, to help walk them through, so that they have those expectations and they have it set in their mind, like, okay, so I'm going to take that link and I'm going to go order my stuff on the website. And then once I'm done that, then she's going to be in touch with me, that kind of thing. So they know what's going to happen.
Okay. So being specific is very, well, I mean, I know from experience with you, like, I mean, telling me exactly where to go is a huge factor for me, because if I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going to give up. You know?
Right.
Like, probably that's the case with everybody. So I'll make sure to do that.
Yeah.
And even,
yeah.
I have an email that I send. I know this is afterwards, but once they buy something, I have an email that I send to people. So I can say, listen, as soon as, this is what your steps are. And as soon as it goes through, you're going to get an email. I'm going to send, and as soon as I see that the order has happened, you're going to get an email from me where it really lays out like all the details about the challenge groups and all of these things. So you feel like you're really ready to go and it's all in one place. So like, even just saying that, they know that like, as soon as you sell them something, you're not dropping them. Like you've already set up sort of this expectation that you're going to take care of them and hold their hand and hold them accountable. I have a form that I often use for them to fill out, saying like, I have a form that I'll ask you to fill out so that we can, make sure that we're sort of in this together, and we make sure we figure out what's going to work best for you, kind of thing. So if they know something's coming, I don't know, sometimes it just can assure them a little bit.
I like that, because
supporting them.
You don't want to think you're just a number. So you, like you said, dropping them once they buy something, like, bye.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I really think that's the most important thing, is to make sure they understand that like you're going to be there even after. It's not going to be them on their own, like, oh, I have to like figure out this workout and figure out these containers and all of that you're there for them. So that's definitely important to emphasize. But yeah, I mean, I'll try to type up this stuff that I have, and then we can discuss further too, maybe next week. But yeah, I have stuff on like different objections and how to get around them and all of that stuff too. So, but yeah, do you feel like you have a better idea of what steps to take?
Yes, yeah, I actually do. I'm actually even a little more confident, because I was thinking of just working into moving them to closing like the last 2 days, but now like it's more of a build up, it sounds like, so start slowly, like how you started a challenge group, there's more of a build up to this here as well. So I gotta put all my ideas, Annie, we've spoken, I gotta put my board together and go through all the different routes how I want to do it. But yeah, I have more confidence now in what I'm gonna do. And if it's okay, can I send you an email like once I get everything pen to paper and typed up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and okay. I have you an email back as well. But yeah, and I think it's important to remember too, like some people are definitely going to say no, or they're not ready for it now, but it's also partially just trying some things and seeing what works for you. And like, you know, there may be some things like maybe the post works really well, but, you know, the message that you send, like following up on the post isn't exactly right, or it didn't get the response you want. And that's fine, because like you'll do another group and you'll have another chance to tweak it and make it better. So like I think a lot of this is just a constantly tweaking what you're doing and finding a little bit better way to do it and perfecting one area and, you know, working on the other areas that didn't go quite so smoothly. So,
and you have to be willing not to be perfect. Like you have to be willing to just like not make it perfect before you do something. I think pretty much all of us have problems with that, but you just have to be willing to like, I'm going to send this email and it's not going to be the best email that I ever wrote. And I mean, it'll be the best I can do right now, but I bet my next scoop is going to be even better. I was going to do it.
Yeah. I guess that's definitely another working point, because I'm a bit of a planner, but I do understand that, like, there's a learning curve, and I mean I've learned so much so far. I mean, we're only in day 4, excuse me, and I mean there's so much that I've learned, so it's just putting yourself in that mindset that it's okay, you know, and like, you know, next time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're all very similar personalities.
Exactly.
Well, good. Well, thank you guys. I really truly appreciate you guys taking the time to, like, I don't know if anybody else had any other questions, but that one was the one that was sticking to me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think we can definitely hit more questions up in the coming weeks. I mean, that's a good thing about getting back to doing these weekly too. We'll have lots of time. And I can just do some live videos too in the team page. So
awesome.
Righty. Well, I don't want to go too long, so I think we'll finish it off here. But yeah, thank you everybody for hopping on. I think this is a good call and a good start to our new format. So
yay. All right.
Yay.
Well, have a great weekend,
yes,
everybody.
Yes, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.